Welcome back to 02 Million Crypto. My name is GC. We are live. Yes, we are live. Joining me as I'm on my way home from Detroit. Today, let's talk about a few different things in the crypto market, particularly how much money is being invested by these big institutions that are getting involved with the Bitcoin ETFs that we've seen begin since January. Now, if you don't know, Blackrock and Fidelity are the two biggest Bitcoin investors when it comes to investing in such a grand scale in terms of these ETFs that have just been released. We're hearing talk from Gary Gensler explaining on Squawk Box, I believe it was yesterday, how Bitcoin, he basically explained in an interview that he basically doesn't see Bitcoin as the future of finance just yet. And there are many reasons why he might be saying this, but this is the same man that's in charge or the head of the SEC, which was the same institution that approved the Bitcoin ETFs in the first place. Now, obviously, he didn't make it an easy road for these Bitcoin ETFs to be approved because these ETFs have been in talks for years now. And for them to just be approved, and now that we're seeing large swaths of money come from players like Blackrock, which is the biggest player in the entire world, also large players like Fidelity and Ark Invest, we're seeing billions of dollars flood into Bitcoin every day now. And someone like Gary Gensler to still be stifling crypto innovation, Bitcoin adoption in general, not only with his actions, but with his words and interviews, there's something deeply wrong with what's happening with our money. And the people that are in control of these large institutions, there seems to be some sort of scheme or some sort of conspiracy where these people are trying to hold Bitcoin and crypto back as long as they can. There is no other reason, there's no valid reason, rather, why someone like Gary Gensler or someone in these high institutions, someone in these positions of power to be stifling this type of innovation for this long. And we're gaining knowledge that these big institutions, now that they have the green light to invest in these ETFs, are putting large amounts of money into Bitcoin, hundreds of millions by the day individually, and combined seeing billions and billions by the day flow into Bitcoin, even if we're not seeing the greatest increase of price action for Bitcoin just yet. I mean, we're seeing a large increase compared to what we've seen for the past couple years recently for Bitcoin's price. The price action hasn't been too bad the last few days if you've been paying attention to the prices. But when billions of dollars are being flooded into Bitcoin by the day, it's only a matter of time before the price of Bitcoin starts doubling over itself in a small period of time. And a lot of people are now taking notice. They're understanding that it was only a matter of time before larger players started putting their money into Bitcoin and seeing other large players feeding off of each other by getting that comfortability, gaining that kind of peace of mind, knowing that if companies like BlackRock, if institutions like BlackRock, Fidelity, even Grayscale, especially institutions like Ark Invest, these massive funds that have been preaching kind of preaching kind of a world of the future of the world when it comes to technology and, innovation when it comes to money itself. Bitcoin is the biggest innovation when it comes to technology, money, and everything in between combined, basically. We're looking at a new system of wealth that is not traditional by any means. We're talking about decentralization. We're talking about blockchain technology, and we're talking about people deciding not to necessarily, put their money into a stock, put it into invest in a technology company or a specific technology in general, but understanding that Bitcoin is this new way of thinking about money entirely, and these big institutions putting money in also give retail investors like myself, and probably someone like you watching this video, like I said, peace of mind to understand that even though that maybe the gains, maybe the massive 10, 20, 50, 100x gains that we're looking for aren't coming right away, they will be coming in the future. And this may be our last chance as retail investors to really get into Bitcoin before we see it skyrocket to six figures and beyond. Bitcoin is at a place right now, in my opinion, where it's still very profitable to get in at this point. And even though we have over tripled since its bottom in November of 2022, when the FTX fallout happened, where we saw Bitcoin fall to about $15,500 American, we're seeing now that people are understanding, hey, this train moves faster than we think. People thought Bitcoin was dead in the water at that time, and most of the time in 2023, a lot of people thought that Bitcoin was never going to come back. But slowly but surely, we've recovered to a point where when you see Bitcoin increase over a 3x since the bottom, and there are a lot of people and players that haven't gotten in since seeing that, they're starting to think twice about putting their money into other assets and other avenues of investments compared to something like Bitcoin, where since its inception in 2009, or you could probably say from the first cycle, 2010, 11, 12 era, that beginning of Bitcoin and blockchain technology rather has only seen upside towards the future, and in a very dominant way compared to other assets, compared to every asset rather in the entire world. If you compare Bitcoin to every other asset in the entire world, leading up to where we are right now, Bitcoin has dominated the asset sphere when it comes to gains and adoption and institutional investment money flowing into it, especially as of late. A lot of people maybe in the last couple Bitcoin cycles, crypto cycles, said institutional money would never flow into Bitcoin as we've seen it right now. But we are seeing it now, and we're probably going to see smaller institutions and investment firms and hedge funds, smaller than the ones that are investing right now, like Blackrock and some of these other players I mentioned, but we're going to start seeing the entire world turn towards the mindset of, if they don't get into Bitcoin now, they may miss their chance before their next best bet is to get into something or a cryptocurrency like Ethereum, or maybe even something like XRP, that hasn't blown up in the way that Bitcoin has, in the sense where Bitcoin is about to take the world by storm, in my opinion. We're on the cusp of something great as crypto investors, and we've seen something fantastic so far as Bitcoin investors, even if we've only been able to dollar cost average small amounts of our paycheck every now and then. We're in such a great moment in history for blockchain technology, and The charts prove that. The charts show that we are recovering at a rapid pace in 2024, and the future is so bright going into 2025, because if you got in these past couple of years, sure, you may have taken an L investing through this most recent bear market from 2021 till now, but as time goes on, it goes to show that Bitcoin investors, I would say crypto investors, but mostly Bitcoin investors, are laughing at the competition of assets that they can invest into. And the green light from these institutions buying billions by the day, as a whole, gives the retail investor like you and I peace of mind, and the green light to invest in Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. Maybe not some of these other altcoin projects that seem a little risque, but when it comes to the greatest storage of wealth and the greatest avenue to park your money to protect your wealth on earth, which is Bitcoin, we are finally seeing the fruits of our labor come to light. And in my personal belief, in my personal opinion, the people that hold the strongest, the people that invest the longest and hold the longest in an asset like Bitcoin, and maybe explore a few other avenues in the crypto sphere, we are the ones, we are the people, we are the essence of an investment world that's going to see our money go into a space that will take us from 0 to a million a lot faster than everyone else.